I'm very excited to be here to talk just briefly about my admiration for the women of Eritrea, and in particular that Eritrea, amongst African nations that suffered external domination, that Eritrea managed to pull out amongst how many of them? I want to share my thoughts on the history of Africa. The fact that Africa has always been at the center of discussion by others, but not them inclusive. Africa has always been the one that sustains civilization and yet has not participated in the civilization of the world so far. I want to share my thoughts and my congratulations to the women of Eritrea, because as we know, Eritrea is one of the countries that have struggled to come out of the domination of the world. It is human that you fight for freedom. You struggle to be independent. We have also seen that it's also on the other side, many that try to dominate others. But that is no longer of a 21st century standard and therefore no longer acceptable. But yet we know that even in the midst of African countries, there are still many that are yet to free themselves from the partitioning of Africa, the amalgamation of nations, independent nations, to form one, not because the people themselves wanted it, but because some other person, some other group, some other interest wanted it to be so. I'm a Nigerian, and I know, and many people will know, that Nigeria continues to struggle under the bondage of a creation that had nothing at all to do with them. It is not a creation for them, and therefore it will never serve their interests. So in other words, I'm very jealous of Eritrea because Eritrea has been able to break free from the bondage that has been our chain in Africa for a very long time. I have prepared a paper that I hope that His Excellency will be able to share, because tonight I feel very emotional about being here amongst Africans that have been able to break free. And I thank the women of Eritrea, and I know that the Eritrean government has also supported the women, because I've always kind of worked and mixed and enjoyed a free Eritrea and Eritrean women. And I was very excited at one of the events to know that the Eritrean government has actually outlawed female circumcision. It's not because female circumcision continues to this date, because I argue that it's no longer being practiced, because now we have greater issues to deal with. But for some reason, female circumcision, which is called sometimes as female genital mutilation, which I disagree with, because again, female genital mutilation is negative term and continues to be the term that is being used to negatively describe Africa, because it makes it then easier for other people to come in and try to say they are teaching us civilization. No, civilization began from Africa. What we need is for African nations, for Africans, especially women, to stand up and take their place. And I know that the African women are really the creator of Africa's culture. And this was why I was happy. I just want to remember that, yes, there was a time where South African women also fought to make sure that apartheid became a history, although we are still yet to see the economic apartheid conquered in South Africa. I say that the women of Eritrea throw in quite a lot of light into the need, not just the need to free Africa, but also they give us the assurance that yes, Africa will be emancipated, and Africa is going to be emancipated through the recognition of the women and the part that women are playing. And on this I appeal to the Eritrean government that it is necessary that you recognize, yes, you have outlawed the female circumcision, which is something that is huge, yes, but yet so far you are the only country that has been able to do this legally for the world to see, and to assure us as African women that you care very much and you appreciated the role that the women have played in the liberation of Eritrea. And therefore, the goodness of Eritrea belongs to both men and women of Eritrea. At the same time, I want to say that I want to appeal to the United Nations to say that we need, the United Nations need to support the effort of Eritrean women, therefore African women, to gain their independence from the many hundreds years of negative and enslavement of the African continent. We want also to appeal to the media, because we know that the international media has a lot of role to play in the kind of story that is told about Africa. Africa is being negatively imaged, and that imaging needs to end, so that the role that African women are playing will come to the fore, and then we as mothers of the continent will continue to contribute to a peaceful world, because it is in the interest of the world for Africa to be free, and for the world to sit back and recognize our right under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that we all have a right to decide the kind of people we want to be. The world cannot continue to teach us what they want us to be. I think we need, globalization means you should learn from us. I bring my glory and my color to you, and you bring yours. Together we put it in the pot, and we all enjoy it and become a free world. We can never be free, a world of the same. The world where you teach me and make me do what you do is not a free world. And again, I say, Eritrean women have a huge role to play. The Eritrean government should give them more places in government, should empower them in civil society, so that they will become part and parcel of the continued nation building of Eritrea to the 21st century. Thank you so much.